This is a Miami Sports Music Podcast Network production. This is Dolphin Chat with Steven Daniels and Jason Sarney. Let's go.
I know the whole city right. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves now with enterprise.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We got a special episode for you this evening. Oh, we got a good one, a good Dolphin Chat. We haven't done a Dolphin Chat in a while, but I'm excited about this one. It is going down, as they say. I'm your host, Steven Daniels. You can follow me on all social media at Steven D. SKPL. Spread kindness, positivity, and love. I'm also the host of Clock Blockers, the #1 Miami fan morning show. Before we get started, let me just give a big shout out as I mess up thing there. Let me give a big shout out to our wonderful, amazing sponsors, Tailgreeter. Download the app today on your current Apple. I didn't say Crapple at all, or Android devices. Make sure you guys do that. If you guys want to go to the best tailgates around, whether it's at Hard Rock Stadium or away, make sure you download the app or go to the website, tailgreeter.com. Type in East 32 Dolphins Tailgate. You can hang out with the best tailgate at Hard Rock Stadium. Or if you're going to an away game this year, hey, I got one for you, the FedEx Takeover. That's right, Miami Sports Music Tailgreeter Tailgate Tour. We're doing an awesome meet and greet the night before. We got game tickets, all-inclusive tailgate. It's going to be a good time, so make sure you all check that out. All right, it is Dolphin Chat, which means I have a co-host, and he's one of my best friends in the business. I love him. He is the founder and creator of Dolphins Weekly. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jason Sarney. What's up, Jason?
What's up, Steven D? Thanks for having me. Thank you for putting this show together. I'm excited about it. Fantastic job. Ooh, I'm pumped up, man. Ooh.
I know, man. So you got somebody in the tank here. Let me not say in the tank. I don't want to mess up.
We don't want to get sued.
I'm not taking your thing, OJ. I'm not doing it. Look, we got somebody in the back who's absolutely amazing. We love him. I'll let you introduce him, man.
No, he's in the ocean. He's hanging with us in the ocean. It's Omar Kelly of all Dolphins, one of my favorite friend and a mentor. How you doing, Omar?
I'm good. That's an interesting word, friend tour.
I'm starting to get it. Make it so, maybe. Make it so.
It's going to become a thing.
Yeah. Always a pleasure to join you guys and talk to the fans, the guys that go to road trips, the guys that if you ride with Solo D, I know you hardcore. That DWA right there.
Shout out to Dolphins with Attitude, the Honorable Solo D. He's working on the new song for this year, too. I heard a little sample of it, Omar.
Okay.
I might have to email it to you before it really drops because
I'd appreciate that.
It's fire.
I like to share the Solo D videos. I'm a big Solo D fan.
12 years strong, 11 years strong. So he's been doing it for over a decade, man. He's been doing it big, man. All right, we got a lot to get into, a lot to talk about. So let's dive right into it. First things first, we're 3 weeks into training camp. What I want to know from you, Omar, and Jason too, because you were there for a little bit as well, is I just want you to give me 2 or 3 things that have stuck out at you for the first few weeks of training camp so far, Omar.
Off the top of my head, they've been 3 lackluster offensive practices. Fans have their panties in a bunch about that, which is, as usual. But I will preface this by saying, and I just wrote a column for alldolphins.com, which is a free website for all those fans out there. We give you everything those mainstream newspapers do for free.
So, and better, because it's got Omar Kelly.
And Alan Poupard, who collectively, we probably have 35 years of experience covering the Dolphins. I don't know exactly how many years Alan goes, but I know he goes 20 and I go 15. And we also do a podcast called All Dolphins. You can find it on your podcast streaming sites where we talk about practice every single day. As things that I'm thinking about, let's go by unit. I've seen a lot of growth from Tua. There's a better mastery of the offense. Wide receiver unit is not as deep as people think it is, but Chosen's presence can be felt and is felt. Now, why he only gets very limited reps before all the wide receivers went down, I don't know. But he's one of my favorite receivers to watch in practice. I expect him to elevate himself. Alec Ingold, that guy is a baller. I did not know how good he was until you started watching practice closely. He is the second tight end on this team. Your tight ends will have a very quiet season. It's a position that the organization just punted on this offseason. And, will it impact your offense? Who knows?
Especially when there was a couple there primed for the taking
Hey,
on draft
man,
night,
they wanted Cam Smith. They wanted Devon Chain. That's all you made your choices.
They made the bed. They got to sleep in it, man. I'm with you. I understand.
So, there could be some tight ends wave that don't make a 53 that could come help this team. Right now, that's your best avenue because it ain't here. And offensively, Liam Eichenberg is in quicksand right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's going under. Somebody's got to pull him out. It could be Teron Armstead, or you could just let him drown. I don't know what the right answer is there. I know I need to see him play at least 30 snaps in every exhibition game, just so that he can get this technique issue, get this fundamental issue, I think he's in his head. Who knows? Defensively, they look very good, even though they're still probably experiencing growing pains. Don't believe what you read or heard from Atlanta writers. They kicked the Falcons' butts all joint practice.
We had live coverage to interrupt. We had live coverage for 2 days, and we were tracking on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it now.
It's still
Atlanta
Twitter,
beat
man.
reporters and Dolphins tweet. It's always going to be Twitter. Atlanta beat reporters and Dolphins beat reporters, and it was a night and day difference from what you guys were reporting to what they were reporting.
You see what you want to see. I watched Desmond Ridder check down. He looked like Chad Henne to me. That's all I got to say. Tell me the passes that they beat Xavier Howard on.
Man, I'm gonna go break out my Chad Henne jersey in the back, man. Don't make me do it, Omar. I'll do it.
You got some shame in you, then.
Hey, and it's autographed too. I definitely
would you wear it to tailgate?
If I was dared to, maybe, but
you got to pull out that list.
Wearing Chad Henne to the tailgate. That's all I want to know.
You got to pull out that list of jerseys that you would be ashamed wearing it to. And if you bought that jersey, you have to explain what you were thinking.
I'm going to dive in here and say my shame jersey. And it's one I'll never bring back. It's a number 86 jersey. I got a Mike Gesicki number 86 jersey.
You own a Gesicki jersey?
No, but did you hear the number? Did you hear the number, Omar?
86, which is what, a rookie jersey?
Yeah, it's a rookie jersey. The quick story is I was told about him early Penn State career. So there was early tracking, coworker, sister went there, best friends with whomever, blah, yada, yada, yada. Mike Gesicki tracked him. That was basically it. Got an 86 jersey. 86 that.
I can one up that story. My wife, when we first started dating, she got me a jersey, and it was number 85. And it was right at the time Chad Ochocinco had just signed with the Dolphins. And I was like, oh, my God, this is a number 85 Chad Ochocinco jersey. I turned it around, and it was Corey Sperry. Corey Sperry had one touchdown for us his entire career.
You found that at Marshall's? Where'd you get that? Just Corey Sperry.
My wife found it on the internet for like $50 and bought it. I was like, I don't know about this $50 jersey, babe, but
it's a real jersey. It's a real jersey.
Authentic. Yeah, it was a real jersey. Corey Sperry.
Okay.
True story. So I have a Corey Sperry jersey. Don't make me go in my closet, Omar. I'll go
$50. I mean, you can cut out the stitching. I'd rock an Ochocinco jersey because I swear to you,
all day.
Ochocinco looked good in camp
all day
before he got,
Hard Knocks is here, and I had to go back and we talked about it on the morning show. I'm like, man, if he hadn't just said what he said that week, and he predicted you're gonna have to bail me out of jail this weekend as soon as he walked out of the facility. And I said, oh man, he jinxed himself. And he did. I love Chad. It's my guy. But come on, Chad. Don't say stuff like that, man.
Yeah, and I love Chad, too. We were texting because he overslept. He wanted to come to the first joint practice, and he overslept. He's texting me, what period are we in? And I told him, he's like, man, by the time I get there, it'll be over.
No,
if he wants to come to the next practice, Alan McDonald's waiting for him.
I was about to say he probably by the time he goes through McDonald's drive-through and then comes to practice, he would be late.
Yeah, man. I love Ocho.
All right, man, let's get into our new segment, Got to Talk About It. That's right. We're going to pick 3 things that we got to talk about. And the first thing, we got to talk about it, man. We got to talk about Tua. What's going on with Tua, Omar? It seems that the fans are in an uproar on social media right now about why Tua seems to be struggling the first couple of weeks. He doesn't look as smooth as he did last year.
Let me explain this by saying there are periods in practice, and this has been consistent from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
First team 11 on 11s that Tua is working with Freddie Swain and Daywood Davis and Chris Coleman and Braylon Sanders and Cedric Wilson. Those are his receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Explain to me why.
Because look, I can't explain to you why, but the number one guys aren't going to get as many reps because they don't need it right now. There's your answer.
They're testing, they're experimenting, they're trying to figure out what their growth process can be from year 1 to year 2.
Mm-hmm.
They're implementing things that are new and different. I can tell you, for instance, everybody's like obsessed that, they didn't dominate the Falcons during the exhibition season, during the joint practices. Well, how much motion did you see in the offense? Did you see as much
last year? Not a lot at all. But I
No.
see it a lot at practice. I've seen a lot at practice lately.
I see a lot of motion in the games.
Yeah.
I see a lot of motion in games. I didn't see it in practice this year. Last year, it was a ton. And
so we only see, I live up here in Baltimore, so I can only see what I see through the video. Okay. And so all I have seen is
your illegal videos or the Dolphins produced video.
Look, it is fan created video, Omar.
Contraband, man. It's contraband.
Okay. And all I see, Omar, is Alec Ingold in motion or a wide receiver in motion. I feel like there's 5 or 6 plays that are really running around and they all have somebody in motion.
Yeah, that's their Dolphins offense. They have guys in motion a lot. I can tell you this week, the joint practice with the Falcons, you didn't see much motion. You saw a lot of them. You saw some of it, but not as much as I'm used to. And, going back to last year's camp, I mean, Tyreek had the best camp I've ever seen in my life of anybody. Is Tyreek practicing at that level now? No. Do you need him to practice at that level now? I would tell you right now, because I've seen Tyreek with a compression sleeve on, there's something there that he's nursing or pacing himself. This is
hiding?
My theory.
Is that a fair thing to say? Hiding?
No, he's not hiding it.
Okay.
He's admittedly had something going on since training camp. Since OTAs.
Okay.
Which is why he didn't participate in OTAs. Does Tyreek need to prove himself to you?
No, and I said this morning on my morning show, I said, we're not going to see him at all in preseason. There's no need to.
I don't think so. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no need to.
I mean, you just technically lost Jalen Waddle. Do you want to lose Tyreek too?
Well, let me ask you, since you just brought it up, I wasn't going to ask you about it, but do you have, I know it was his lower torso. That's all I know.
If we've just got bruising, and let's just say it's bruising.
Okay. Let's
just say it's bruising and not broken. You're looking at 2 weeks. Broken, you're looking at 6 weeks. So we don't know the specifics of it. I think the fact that they're so quiet about it, if he was all right, he would have told Twitter, I'm all right, I'm good. I'm good to go.
The fact that he's quiet about it's not. I said that today too. I was like, look, the fact that we don't know nothing and they're not saying nothing, that doesn't bode well.
Yeah, this ain't a surgery. If it is what I think it is, which is a torso injury, they're not going to tell you. It's not like he punctured his lung. You'd know about it if that happened. This is probably just bruising, and let's hope it's bruising. And you won't see him in the exhibition season. I don't think you'll see Tyreek in the exhibition season. So,
hello, Robbie Chosen, and hello, Braxton Berrios and Eric Ezukama.
That's Eric's nursing something too. So, injuries happen to the guys that run a lot, the wide receivers, the cornerbacks. So, and right now the Dolphins are getting relatively thin at those spots.
They are definitely doing that. All right, let's go on to the next. Got to talk about it. Dalvin Cook. Is he coming to the Dolphins? Is he not? What do you think's going on? Today's his birthday, by the way.
28.
On the 10th. So yeah, it's his birthday. Nick Hicks is all up on Twitter, all the time promoting him. What's going on with our boy Dalvin? Is he coming to play for the hometown team or not?
I don't know. I think he's patient enough to wait this whole exhibition season out and see how things stack out with some of these other teams. There are backs that get hurt, just like receivers get hurt. And a team could become quite desperate. Let's say the Baltimore Ravens suffer an injury and hit a desperate point for a back. Or Indianapolis doesn't settle the situation, they're adding guys like Kenyon Drake and maybe the other back. I can't remember his name right now, but he's a South Florida kid. It happens. Injuries happen. Marlon Mack just suffered an injury with.
I feel bad for that guy. That's his second ACL, right? In 2 years.
Hey man, he got injured on the NFL dime, so that's an NFL rehab check. So before training camp started, he was out of work. So
I wonder if he just signed his contract like a few days before it all went down.
Yeah, sometimes it happens like that. And you never know. Jeff Chain left practice on Wednesday. I mean, I'm sorry, Jeff Wilson left practice on Wednesday with what seemed like a hand injury. I know the Dolphins,
He never returned that I was aware of.
Yeah, but I don't expect him to. A guy leaves practice, they're not returning to a training camp practice.
Not in 115-degree weather outside.
105. Don't exaggerate. It's only 105.
I was told on Twitter, so it must be true. It was 114 degrees temperature on the field in practice the other day. That's what I was told.
I'd have to see that.
On the heat index.
It was hot. It was hot. I don't know if it was 105. They did go inside the bubble. But I think that had a lot to do with half they want to not be in the sun, and the other half is they want to do things that fans can't see and record. Because I will tell you, that inside the bubble action we saw, that was sexy. That was some good stuff. Good? Oh, it was good. It was situational drills. It was red zone. We had 2 fights.
Get me excited.
Tyreek backflipping into the end zone. Teams talking crap to each other from the sidelines. A chain scoring the situation stealing touchdown. The Dolphins sideline hole rushed over to him and
it was like 20. It would have been a 21-20 game, right? Like that's how they looked at it.
Oh man, it was good. I can tell you're not gonna see anything like that.
If we get into the regular season,
and people don't understand. Like part of the reason why I do what I do is because I get these daily rushes that you guys get on Sunday. I get them daily. Like it's daily for me.
Thank you for rubbing it in. Somebody who doesn't live down there. Thank you, Omar. I appreciate it.
So to see stuff like that, and then what I love about the bubble practices is we sit in these towers that we sit in an up elevated position in the tower, and a lot of times the field is so small, so they're working right on top of us. So we get to hear every single thing that is said. And oh my God, is Christian Wilkins an offensive man?
That man can talk some trash.
It's scary how nasty he can get.
I want to hear a real mic'd up, unedited version.
Oh man,
could that happen? Could that actually happen?
Well, with YouTube,
no.
Omar, correct me if I'm wrong. Things are going to change in the next 2 years with YouTube now having what it is. They can have that kind of stuff on there now.
But everything has to be filtered through the Dolphins. And as to quote Christian Wilkins, I'm a sick and twisted individual. And he's right. She's sick and twisted. He
loves Hamilton, and he will. I'm telling you, he's this thing, this person that I don't know what to say. He's so mysterious, but I've never seen anybody like him in the league.
He's personally weird. He's weird, and I don't know who that person is on the football field. I've heard about it, but like Robert Hunt says, like I don't talk to Christian. I'm not going to talk to Christian, and I understand it. The only thing I can put it in correlation to for those who are married is when your wife is really mad at you and she says things to really hurt your feelings and cut you deep.
True friends stab you in the front, Omar. Okay. True friends stab you in the front. All right. That's real. All right. And we're all married up here, so we've all felt that.
I think he single-handedly took Liam Eichenberg's confidence. Like he just.
Are we talking like Michael Jordan and practice every year? They had to get it.
It's bad. It's bad. And like we heard him say, you're going to let one man destroy your practice. And like we had to sit there and figure out, is he talking about himself or is he talking about Liam Eichenberg? Like I was like, we were like debating it amongst ourselves. And I was like, it would apply to both.
It would apply to both. Well, it's great because the very last thing I got to talk about it is the offensive line struggles. And one of the things that we read through tweets on social media, whether they're true or not, I'm asking you, is that one, Liam Eichenberg was off to the side towards the end of practice, isolated by himself away from the rest of the team. And also there just seems to be a merry-go-round of people just rotating to see who's going to work and especially if Teron Armstead's not in.
Which practice are you referring to? Because now you're telling me something that I never heard, because we didn't even see the end of the second joint practice because they were inside the bubble and we had to leave before they had.
So it was the second day of joint practice, and we read a couple of things from beat reporters as well as people that were there that said he wasn't like totally off to the side, but he was not talking to anybody and he was by himself away from the rest of the group.
I would love to see that tweet because I didn't notice that. I can tell you
I'll look for it and tag you in it.
He's battling his confidence right now. Some confidence issues.
Well, what about the rest of the offensive line in general and the struggles?
Without Teron Armstead, it is going to be what it's going to be. He's not going to play all exhibition season. He got 6 snaps in joint practice total, 11 on 11s. I don't worry about Teron. He won 5 of his 6 snaps. I'm not worried about Teron. There is a steady flow of guys in there rotating for that left guard spot. How it's going to end up, we have absolutely no idea. You can name the guy, and I can tell you he's probably in the mix. We're not allowed to tell you who it is. I would say if there's a strong candidate to unseat Eichenberg, it's probably going to be Isaiah Wynn.
I've heard Isaiah Wynn's name a lot the last week.
Yeah, but I wouldn't rule out Lester Cotton. I wouldn't rule out Robert Jones. Everybody knows Liam will get every opportunity.
So I don't want to steal Jason's thunder, but Jason today on social media brought up the name Dalton Risner, and I've been bringing it up on my morning show for.
It's not going to happen.
DJ Fluker.
Risner played for this offensive line coach,
Butch Berry.
And Risner, if you watch the film, he's on the ground a lot. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why he hasn't found work yet. He's just on the ground a lot. And that's not a good trait for an offensive lineman. It means you're just getting physically overmatched.
All right, let me give you my point of view on this. 9 offensive line coaches in 10 years. Okay.
Yep.
A merry-go-round of multiple people playing on the O-line, no consistency at all. Mm-hmm. And then I look at teams that are Super Bowl contenders or Super Bowl winners, and what do they all have in common? 95% of them, there's exceptions to the rule, maybe the Cincinnati Bengals being one of them, that they all have really above average, really good offensive lines. And I don't remember the last time the Miami Dolphins had that, Omar. So,
you forget about the Unicorns in 2016.
Okay.
Led by the best offensive line coach, a cocaine snorting
Chris Forster.
Yeah. Led by,
he's in the league. He's in San Francisco living
he's still the best offensive line coach in the NFL.
No doubt, man. And we always seem to.
If you want to look the other way, you might still have him. But,
you're not wrong. I'll say that. You are not wrong.
Hey.
But still, 9 offensive line coaches.
49ers hired him during his rehab stint. I'm just saying.
Anybody with half a brain would have said, thank you. Well, and took him. And John Lynch did.
No. That was nasty. Now, if he wasn't as dynamic a coach as he is, you don't survive that.
He did.
Snorting white powder substances in your facility.
Look here, man.
With the Dolphins jersey, with the Dolphins clothing on.
Look, man, we all saw
that was the weirdest. That was the weirdest thing I've ever. That was the
talking to your prostitute while you're married.
That was
Omar. It is South Florida, and we all know things behind closed doors. That to us was like, I hear you.
No, that was the weirdest thing ever. That made Bullygate look like Romper Room, all right?
But the fact is, we also were a part of Bullygate, Jason. That's the problem. We had Bullygate. We had Chris Forster. We had Richie Incognito, who was a part of Bullygate.
Don't disrespect Richie.
I love Richie. I love Richie. Omar, I love him. I was so upset when he went and played in Buffalo, and I'm like, could have had this guy here.
Richie endured a lifetime of trauma. and he abused everybody as a result of it.
He was great. I love it.
That's remarkably
but as far as
accurate.
the
Yeah,
O-line is
that's
concerned,
perfect.
I want you to speak to the fans, because the fans are the ones that are, it's funny because Chris Greer said in a press conference earlier this year, he's like, you guys, the beat writers and the fans are the ones that are complaining about the O-line. We think we're good. I clearly see some struggling going on the O-line here, Chris. What's going on?
Pray that Teron Armstead comes in and fixes it all. That's your only prayer I can offer you.
The man who's only played 13 or 14 games a year for the last few years?
Hey, man. You're going to get 13, 14 good games.
I like what you said about when I do. I'm holding out hope that there could be an outsourced help. We referenced the name. I know it's a long shot because there's other things that need to happen, but I'm hoping they outsource too. Left guard.
Why isn't DJ Fluker here? Why isn't DJ Fluker here? I'm not saying he's the answer to our prayers.
Well,
but you could get him at the veteran minimum and let him come in and play and compete.
One, the Dolphins don't. Yes, I don't disagree with you on Fluker. Why not a camp tryout? But there's medical stuff there that a lot of teams don't feel like.
Have you seen his videos? The man looks like he could lift up a bus.
He does.
Facts. Okay.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that his knee's going to hold up for however long.
That's true. You're right.
Why he's not here's a camp body instead of James Tunstall? I don't know. I can't answer that question for you.
It's the wrong Tunzel. I need Tunstall, not Tunstall. Okay, that's what I need. All right.
I can't answer that question for you. I think last year this time, or 2 years ago, I watched them do joint practice against Chicago, and I sounded the alarm, and I wrote a column. This ain't good enough. This is going to get your team, your quarterback hurt after I watched them get thrown around by the Chicago Bears. And the weekend, he went out and traded for Greg Ellis or whatever that kid's name was, who wasn't very good.
Greg Little, right?
Greg Little, yes.
Backup for the
and they traded for another guy who also
the Panthers.
Yes, Panthers.
One of the two.
And then they traded later for backup center, and it didn't fix your problems.
Sure did.
And I'm not at the point where I'm sounding the alarm. It's not that bad yet. It's not good, but it's not that bad yet. All you have is one issue, Liam Eichenberg. And you got to find a solution for the Liam Eichenberg until he gets out of his head.
So are you saying that possibly this could be a line that could get us deep into the playoffs?
I didn't say that.
Okay. I want you to say that, Omar. You're not.
I cannot lie to you. I think it could be a line that could get you 10 wins.
I don't want 10 wins. What? I need 11, 12, or 13.
Then if you want 11, 12, and 13, you need to get Dalvin Cook, because that's the only way I see that happening for you.
Even with the issues on the O-line.
Even with the issues on the O-line. Great backs make average lines look better. They just do. And I don't know if he's still a great back, but you just rushed for 1,100 yards for 4 straight seasons.
Yep.
Name me the amount of backs that have done that.
Let me ask you a quick question. I would welcome Cook in.
Mm-hmm.
However, not a detriment for other business that I think has to happen. Do you think?
Okay, hold on. Okay, we can continue this line of thought, and I want to continue this line of thought. Tell me what that other business is.
Locking up Christian Wilkins.
Okay.
I think that there's other room to maybe do another extension that could free up some money. So you mentioned the guy who I like. Let me give you an example. I would love to see Alec Ingold get locked up and extend a minor one, just something. Bad example, maybe good example.
Okay, I can support that.
Okay, good.
Let's absolutely support that.
Because you just said you love
that.
Hold
on, keep in mind, who are you bidding against for a fullback? Though?
No one, but I'm doing this. You said he could be a tight end too. You said he's a guy he's a football player, right?
Let's football last year. Imagine if it wasn't.
You know what? If I'm looking for $1 million, but also to make someone happy, let's take care of a football player. Send a message to other guys of what the dirty work playing with a broken hand could do. So there's a guy that I'd love to see taking care of the help. Okay. However, you need money to carry over, Omar. You know that you need money to carry over going on. Yes. So I'm going to go 2 to 4 million of emergency fund broken glass money.
Okay, I'm right along with you.
I'm running out. I'm scared that we don't have enough and we're going to cut off our nose to spite our face for Cook.
I completely agree with you from this standpoint. But just as we were referring to with Steven, as I was talking to with Steven, here's the disconnect that I see with Dolphin fans. You think you have a 13-win team.
Mm-hmm. I'm at 11. I'm at 11.
I'm at 12 or 13.
Oh, you're at 12. Okay, you think you're at 11. You think you're at 12. I'm watching it. I've covered this team for 15 years. I can tell you you're at 10. You lost Jalen Ramsey. You don't think Jalen Ramsey is going to cost you 2 games? That's a 3-game talent right there, right?
10. Omar, you're killing me, man.
I'm just being. You know who I am.
I do.
I am the truth guy. I'm not gonna sell you hope.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but I am the local hopium dealer around here in these parts. Okay. I am the local hopium dealer, and I'm about that life. Okay. So I'm telling you, I need 12 wins, man.
I don't see that. And I don't see. Let me tell you why I don't see that. Let me give you my logical reasons why I don't see that. In the NFL, I've covered this league for 15 years. You will lose at least 6 starters for at least 6 games a season. Whoever, your Emmanuel Ogba's, your Brandon Jones, your Nick Needham's, your whoever you want to account, add it all up, you're going to lose 6. Now, when you take those 6, your Tua Tagovailoa's, when you take those 6 out of your lineup, when you're missing those 32 games of starts from starters, and take one from every unit, take an inside linebacker away, and Duke Riley starting for 6 games. Take a defensive lineman or edge rusher.
Zach Seiler.
Huh?
Zach Seiler. He would hurt for 6 games.
Yes, exactly. Take
Don't
that
put that label on me.
The question is, do you have a comparable backup? And in a lot of these positions, you do not have a comparable backup. I was on the Joe Rowe show this morning, and I kind of I'm filling in for Joe for Danny Hollywood with working with Joe, and he's right there with me. He sees a lot of talent. There's a lot of top shelf talent. Like, you know, when you go to a bar and there's the premium, you're stocked on premium. Okay.
Yes.
But do you have the beers and the wines that you need to entertain the party for 6 hours?
That's good.
Probably not. Not with Miami. Not for the last 15 years.
I'm just saying, you did not buy enough You did not buy enough beers. You did not buy enough wines.
This is where I come in as the bartender. I'm going to spritzer some things up, Omar. I'm going to stretch it out. I'm going to make the party work.
That's the career coming out of you.
Tomorrow, I got my eyes on. Look, we are thin. You are right. You are right. You are right. Look, you sent a great tweet earlier today about the experimental offense. Loved it. One of my favorite tweets you've ever done. On this point, top shelf was a great analogy. Now we got to work on that mid and bottom shelf that you don't love, but you need to get through the party. We don't know how some of that goes down just yet. Sure. Tomorrow, we're going to find out a whole lot. We're going to find out if there's a guy, 2 guys. I wanted to bring them up. This is my segue, because if I had to ask you right now, God forbid Raekwon Davis goes down, who is his backup?
Brandon Peely.
There you go. That's my guy right there. Boom.
And he's because
why is it? Because this is a good thing and a bad thing. The bad thing for the Dolphins is we have no one else. But the good thing for Brandon Peely is he has that opportunity.
Yep.
And until someone ruins theirs, I'm with them if there's reason for me to be with them. I took about 15 of those signed drafted free agents. I did a little research on them. Some I know have a long way to go, but this is the low-hanging fruit. Him and Aubrey Miller Jr., because you said it, that inside linebacker is 1 or 2 top heavy, 4, 5, 6 mid-level below. We need that 3.
If Aubrey went to any other school besides an HBCU, he would have been a 3rd or 4th round pick, in my opinion.
No, that's not true, because he's just undersized.
He is small. I saw Steven. Like, I saw him.
Here's the thing.
It's small but big. He's jacked but small in height. Short height.
David Long is smaller than him.
Yes, another similar body type.
Yeah, similar body type. He got drafted higher because he's from a higher level school. And he also triggers fast. He diagnoses and he triggers fast. The problem is, will he physically hold up for a season, which is why the Titans got rid of him. Now, Aubrey, you don't know if he's going to physically hold up, but he doesn't trigger as fast. Now he's triggering faster. He's way ahead of Channing Tindall, which is why he
say that one more time. He's ahead of Channing Tindall already.
You referenced that a couple of days ago too. Yeah,
he's calling the defense on that unit, which Channing Tindall should be doing.
So it's almost like he's almost like a Channing Crowder calling like the back
on two. Oh, look at that!
I love it. I love that.
All right. So it's he's way ahead. It's troubling. Tindall will be here. They're not going to cut him. He better focus on becoming a special teams demon, because that's the only way he's going to be in this league for a number of years.
There's like 3 or 4 things I want to touch to you about that you just hit on. Number one, I said we have a thing on Tuesday mornings. We call our show on Tuesdays Hot Take Tuesdays. And I said, don't be surprised if Tindall doesn't necessarily make this team. Now, hear me out, okay?
Oh, no, you're right.
Fangio is not playing this stupid game of where you were drafted at. If you cannot come in here and compete, you are gone. Now, I have to admit, on my show, I don't like to use the word hater, Mr. Spread Kindness himself that I am.
You're the hope dealer.
I'm the hopium dealer that I am. But I have been very critical of Noah Igbenogany for the last 3 years. And I do not know how he is still on this squad. Now, before we get into
Noah's look great.
I've heard that from people, and until I see it in a game, I'm not believing it, Omar. You can't fool me once, shame on you.
He had an interception. He picked up 2 in the scrimmage.
No more, Omar. I can't do it, man.
Hey, nobody was ever trying to fool you with Noah. We told you he got picked on year after year. He's not being picked on anymore.
Well, look, I'm telling you right now, Fangio is not about that life. If you can't do it, he's not going to care that you were a 2nd or 3rd or 4th round pick. You're gone.
One, he doesn't make those decisions. That's Chris Greer.
But he's the defensive side. He's going to have a huge say in it.
I will say this, and I got to borrow this from Cam Wolf, who said it to me in private, and I hate the fact that I keep bringing it up. He said to me one time, if Channing Tindall was a 6th round pick, he wouldn't be here. And he's right. He's absolutely right. Yep. However, Channing Tindall is freakishly athletic. I've watched him do pass rushing drills on one-on-ones, and you can see the physicality is there. It's just here. Now, maybe he benefit from moving outside. Maybe him and Austin Jackson just need to switch. And Andrew Van Ginkel just need to switch. And good coaches can make that come out. But on top of that, just go be a head buster on special teams. Right now, if there's anything that troubled me about what I saw,
that's why Walt Aikens was here for 4 or 5 years, because he was a beast on special teams.
Yeah. If there's anything that troubles me about what I saw from the joint practices, is that they got owned on special teams every day. And those were 2 10-minute periods where you just got bullied by the Falcons.
Now, we're talking about the team that was, what were they, 22nd or 26th ranked special teams in the league last year? And you got rid of the defensive coordinator in Boyer, but you retained Danny Crossman. And I've heard great things about Danny as a guy. He sounds like he's a nice guy, but where's Rizzy, man? Bring back Darren Rizzy, please.
He ain't never coming back here.
I know. I know. You just breaking my heart today, Omar. I don't like it, man. I don't like it.
It's not good enough. And I watched it. They got bullied on special teams.
I heard that.
2 days. And I was like, whoa, you got some issues. And maybe that's guys being tried in different spots or whatever.
That's why I think some of those guys in the secondary were signed the last week. It wasn't because of the depth in the secondary. It was who can play special teams on this team.
No question, because it ain't good enough.
All right, next thing that I have for you on this is the Aubrey Miller thing.
Okay.
I am a huge advocate. My wife went to Alcorn State. I love HBCUs. I used to live right next to Morgan State. I'm a huge fan.
Product.
All right. Dude, I love you, man. Only 2 HBCU people were drafted in the NFL this year. Okay. Mm-hmm. Aubrey Miller is good enough to make an NFL roster. I can't be wrong about that.
He's on the fringe. He's practice squad worthy. He's not sponge worthy for me.
Let me one of your. I love that reference. It proves that you're a Seinfeld fan, which puts you up a stock. You know that. Whoop. But look, I think he's that guy in that position group where you have to circle. Like I said to Steven, I believe the other day, if you're looking for a wide receiver, undrafted free agent, good luck. You're not finding one. Practice squad.
No. I actually like David Davis.
Practice squad, sure, but to crack the roster over Barrios,
there's only going to be 6 wide receivers on this team, Omar.
You can't crack the roster.
Maybe 7.
But practice squad, they're in the Braylon Sanders realm. They're okay.
Sure.
They could ball out in the preseason.
I think Braylon is a bubble guy. I think he could make the squad. 6? He can't be number 6?
No, sir. Not a chance.
Freddie Swain?
No, none of them are going to be number 6. They're all practice squad worthy. They're not sponge worthy.
If you want to move,
you got to keep Cedric Wilson, and he ain't even sponge worthy.
I was going to get.
He's another guy. He is another guy. Exactly. That's a whole other conversation. Do you think there's anything to do with them putting him depth chart 2 with punt returner? Is that almost kind of like funneling him down and out?
You're just trying to find use for the $7 million you're spending.
Fine.
Why? First question: why does nobody want him? B,
$7 million.
I get it. Why can't? I still think it behooves them to say, you know what? We'll pick up $3.5 million. Just take him, okay?
Wow.
He's not going to serve any purpose here, Omar. He's never going to see the field. Trent Sherfield looked years ahead of him last year. And from what I have heard, Robbie Chosen and Braxton Berrios looked years ahead of what Trent Sherfield looked last year. So explain to me where Cedric Wilson's going to end up on this squad.
On the back of the roster, break in case of emergency for injuries, maybe the backup punt returner. If he's active for 5 games, I'd be surprised.
You were not good for a hopium dealer, Omar, at all. Okay,
no,
you're not.
He's not good. I didn't think he was good when they signed him. I watched him the first training camp. It made absolute sense that everybody played ahead of him. I'm not impressed with what I'm seeing now. Like you'll see Robbie Chosen. Like you guys see plays because you guys are eating that illegal currency of highlights.
Look, Omar, come on, man. Look, I gotta get my fix, man. Okay, it's what's up there. Okay, I gotta get my fix.
Yeah, and I think the Dolphins secretly love it. You see who's making highlights. You see plays. Show me a Chosen and show me a Cedric Wilson play. Show me one.
Don't worry, we'll wait.
I was up close and personal for the Chosen Burning Noah play.
You know what?
I was for the 5 yards away.
For the people that are watching, I challenge you to give me a Cedric Wilson highlight illegally.
Yeah, give me one. Give me one. I'll even take a one-on-one. I'll take a one-on-one highlight. And for those who know me, they know I put absolutely no stock in one-on-one highlights, wide receiver versus cornerbacks. None, zero.
You're saying you're okay with a one-on-one highlight from Cedric?
I'll take a one-on-one highlight.
I think he did score a touchdown with 15 seconds of time in the pocket. I think it was just to end the practice and get a score. I think it was kind of an allowed touchdown. I think it was the first fan practice, one of the end of the sessions. Not ending of the practice. Cedric got a touchdown in the back of the end zone to end the session, and it was
yeah. Okay, it was.
It
was a sack, actually. Yes, but
the play would have been a sack.
It was Tua. Yes,
he caught the ball. Yeah, whatever.
There's one highlight.
Let's change subjects here. Let's go to the defense a little bit. Let's first talk about Jalen Ramsey's injury. Is he human? Can you explain that to me? Because the man is not on crutches. He's not wearing a brace. And everything I was told is, look, he's going to be out till December. You'll be lucky if he's walking in a few weeks. The man is walking on the sidelines at training camp like nothing is wrong. Is he human?
No, but you knew that.
They said UFOs are real, Omar.
No,
okay.
There are certain players in the league, and I've always known this. And I've covered a couple of them. There are certain humans in this league that are like mutants. LeBron James. I remember Cam Wake was a mutant.
I'm a big LeBron fan, Omar. You just made my day. I'm a huge LeBron fan.
Cam Wake is a mutant. Yes. I've covered Brent Grimes is a mutant. Brent Grimes can do things. Have you ever seen Brent Grimes jump out of a pool? Like, and I'm not joking.
I'm gonna take your word for it. Omar.
No, look it up. There's video of Brent Grimes. I've seen him do it. He gets out of a pool. He doesn't walk upstairs. He jumps out of a pool. Like, there are mutant humans. Adrian Peterson was one coming back from an ACL injury. What do you
that
mean?
was insane. Adrian Peterson was the one for me where I was like, holy cow, is this
There,
real?
there are absolutely no question in my mind after covering athletics for 2 decades, human mutants. And Jalen Ramsey is one of them. And I'm not saying that because of what he's doing now. You can look at his career. People that big aren't supposed to move that well. Like, he is a human mutant.
October?
I'm still optimistic I think December is aggressive. If you want to push it to November, cool. When I see him running and cutting, then I'll say, hey, Jalen Ramsey's on his way back.
But doesn't it say something that he's not in a brace or on crutches days after?
Yeah, that's different, though.
No, I honestly think a lot of that is for show. A lot of that is for his mental psyche.
Well, he's doing a good job of it, and he's got me. I'm all in. I'm all about the hopium with Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, you that hope dealer, baby.
What I do love is that he's on the field teaching and learning and helping. That I'll give him that. I love.
He hasn't checked out, and I don't know him well enough to speak about him or on him, and that's my thing. People, I have this reputation, and my reputation is well known within the locker room. People kid with me in the locker room. I'm always careful of the guys that I don't know who don't know me. I'm not going to sit here and be, the typical Omar because they don't know me. And I will kid with you back like Rivercraft where they have this receiver draft and I call him River Craycraft. His name is River Craycraft. People, I call him Rivercraft because it just
I like it.
Consolidates the name.
I can see Omar like, all right, look, I'm just calling you Rivercraft, okay?
I'll
So
do
just
that.
And I do.
Poetic license. You can do that.
Yeah, and he was the first. He was the receivers. The receivers split up their units, and they have a competition, which includes a big, fat, ridiculous dinner that Tyreek or Jalen have to pay for, depending on whose unit performs out the other. And River Craycraft was Tyreek's first pick. And I was like, you were the first pick? And he goes, bold choice, right?
Well, I'm telling you, last year I said McDaniel loves this kid. He's got skills and he's really good. And I said, expect him to get some playing time this year, even with how deep the wide receiver room is.
I don't agree with you. I can't name you a play. River does everything right.
That's all McDaniel wants.
Okay.
Why is he here? Omar, does River Craycraft make any other 53-man roster?
No.
Okay. Why is he here? McDaniel, correct?
Because he knows the offense and he can play all 3 positions.
And McDaniel loves him.
No, McDaniel leans on him because he can play all 3 positions. And guys like Eric Uzakama had no idea what the hell they were doing.
Where are we on he?
Yeah, what do you think is he taking a step this year?
He was doing well until he got hurt.
I also mean, where are we with his progression and where do you see him for tomorrow?
He got hurt. I'd be surprised if he played. Maybe if he plays a little bit. He's working his way back. We haven't seen him in 11-on-11, so he's
okay, go ahead.
He's a guy that's I don't know what he's nursing because teams don't have to tell you their injuries and they're all stealth-like when it comes to these injuries. But the fact that he's still on the practice field is a step in the right direction. I don't think he plays this week, but maybe he plays next week, and he definitely plays in the final game.
As a follow-up to that, so tomorrow, in kind of a setting expectation for the fans, because we gotta have to do that in this. We gotta set the expectations here. It's important. Are we panicking if certain players don't play tomorrow? Certain veterans? I mean, let's say a 4 or 5 year veteran doesn't play tomorrow. We panicking, or is it just no need to worry?
I mean, give me a name. What veteran?
All right, all right. Durham Smythe doesn't play. Is there an injury? Robert Hunt.
Okay, I can give you a valid reason why Durham Smythe doesn't play. You only have 1 tight end. Are you going to risk getting that tight end injured?
So there we go. So everyone out there, if Durham Smythe doesn't play,
Omar, don't disrespect Eric Saubert. He came here for blocking. Okay.
Eric, the Denver tight end. He came from the Broncos.
Who?
I knew what Omar was
doing.
Who?
You know.
The disrespect is real for Saubert. Okay, real.
All right, let me give you another one. Jerome Baker doesn't play. Does he need to play tomorrow?
Bro, neither of those linebackers play.
Andrew Van Ginkel. Does Andrew Van Ginkel need to play tomorrow?
Yes, he'll play inside linebacker.
What do you see? What do you
think
see
next? I would say the dress rehearsal would be more important. Like week 2.
I don't know if anything they do in the exhibition season is important. I think the dress rehearsal. Here's why the dress rehearsal is important, and here's my thing. I'm not sure the second exhibition season will be their dress rehearsal because remember they are on the road doing a joint practice with Houston, so they're not going to have their regular setup routine, whatever. The dress rehearsal is for you to have a week routine and game plan, strategize. So I'm just guessing here. A dress rehearsal might be your final exhibition game because you'll be here in order to get into a routine here to see how guys respond and react. Now, I can absolutely be wrong because none of this crap matters. I just want to come out of the exhibition season healthy.
Right.
To be honest.
That's pretty much the gist.
And with young players not scared of the bright lights anymore.
Right. To me, tomorrow is all about 54 through 90. That's what just to get them, because you got to filter them out.
30 through 90.
Fair.
30 through 90.
Fair. Hey, real quick. Vic Fangio comes here and he's trying to install a defense that, just like McDaniel last year, we didn't see anything in preseason. That's why Eric Ezukama looks so great in preseason, right? And then when he gets to the regular season, all of a sudden he doesn't know. It was so vanilla based, right? What type of defense do you see coming from Fangio? Because if I'm correct, he told us, hey, look, I'm going to give you guys something new. I've been looking at game film for a year, sitting in front of a computer for a year. Are we going to see what we're used to seeing with him, or are we going to see something brand new?
It's the same stuff, different language, maybe a sprinkle of a little bit more blitzing here and there. I think that they can infuse a lot of the blitzes that Brian Flores, like both of them are two innovators in what they do. Brian Flores is blitz. Say whatever you want to say about him, but he was the only one doing all that exotic blitz and stuff.
He was,
in the NFL. And I think Vic Fangio can incorporate some of that now that it's not the watered down Josh Boyer version of it. The talent can do that. But this defense is very complex. It causes me to consult people that I know who know football way better than me to explain cover 6 and cover 4. And, because I said this to Joe this morning, I've 20 years in this business. I've never covered a zone team, which is
really,
from FSU to
all
Miami.
The million head coaches you've covered down in South Florida.
Only zone the Dolphins ever ran was Capers in 2007, and he got fired.
We all forgot about 2007.
And I was so young in this profession that I just didn't really. I didn't know. I didn't know. And at that time I was trying to learn 3-4. And there's elements.
Or a guy's going to be leaning on Bradley Chubb because he's used to working with Fangio and something like this?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
How much do you think a guy like Malik Reed added in being a free agent with history with Fangio, just intangible wise? Do you think that's a value?
I don't know.
There.
You don't think that's going to play a part into him? You said earlier that Greer's got the final say. I guess that's true, but Devon Achane wouldn't be here if it wasn't for McDaniel. Okay. And Cam Smith wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Fangio. So I feel like Greer listens to his guys. And
I didn't say that he didn't, but he ain't prematurely cutting his draft picks.
Do you think Greer, I don't know if this is a stupid question or not, but I'm going to ask it to you anyway. Is Greer a man of pride that if he were to cut it would hurt his pride and he would feel some type of way about that?
You got to give me a case. No, because he's cut guys before. Just moving on.
I like Greer. I am pro Greer, just for the record. I'm
neither pro nor against, but I know who he is, and he's going to give his draft picks every opportunity to succeed or fail. Like, he dictates that Liam Eichenberg's still a starter. Like, we're not pulling the cord. Now, when the coaches say, this is why we can't move with him, then he'll be like, all right.
Do you think we're approaching that? I mean, do you think we're here?
Yeah, if Liam
better be in a meeting with him saying, He ain't cutting it, man. He got to go.
What'd you say?
He ain't cutting it, man. He's got to go. They better
Who?
be in a meeting. Bitch Barry, Mike McDaniel with Chris Greer having that conversation.
They're at that point. They're at that point. I mean, anybody with eyes can see that Liam's confidence is shaking. Now, the question is that Christian's abuse or is it?
We don't need another bully gate, Omar, okay? Please stop. Stop it, Omar. Let's not get that
Let's pump the brakes. Let's pump the brakes.
Come on.
Now, I watched him. This Falcons O-line is very good. They bullied Miami's defensive line all practice. Keep in mind, Christian was not practicing. So I don't know what to think about the Falcons D-line, but they do have Grady Jarrett. Now, Grady Jarrett probably isn't going to play in the exhibition season. So, Liam, you need to go out there and you need to play well. You need to show us the fundamentals. Mike McDaniel gave us a nice long speech early in the week when there was senses that Liam was struggling in quicksand. And he gave us a nice long speech about, we want to see you when things get tough. We want to see you rely on the technique we're teaching you, not your comfort stuff. And I don't know if that's happening. And it just looks bad. And at this point, you could easily see somebody else starting at left guard in the preseason game. But I think this is a sink or swim opportunity. Leave him out there as a starter. Evaluate him based on those 15 to 20 snaps.
And if he does well, we'll keep moving. And if he doesn't, got to go.
Correct. This is sink or swim for him.
Top other person, real quick, Steven, that's sink or swim, whether it's offensive, defense. You have one person who is literally going into sink or swim tomorrow night.
Savon Ahmed.
Oh,
wow,
really?
And the reason why I say that is because while he has talent, has he maxed out his talent here? And he is a carbon copy of what Devon Achane is. Like, they are the same player. They are. We in the media mistake them on every single play. They are the same player, same style.
Look-wise, build-wise,
talent-wise, style-wise, they are the same player.
So why isn't Myles Gaskin on the bubble more than Savon?
Because Myles can do more things than Savon can. And the things that I need Savon to do, we already have in their chain. You understand?
Yeah, I do. Which is all the more reason I want Dalvin Cook here.
So hypothetically, Omar, if they do bring in Dalvin Cook, what's
Sullivan's definitely gone.
I mean,
if the Dalvin comes, Sullivan's gone.
So if Dalvin comes, Gaskin and Savon are both gone.
And Wilson stays. So it's a 4-person shop. Cook, Mostert, Wilson, Chain.
Mostert, Wilson, the chain. Yes.
Okay.
What about trading Raheem Mostert and maybe Cedric back to Dallas? Go to Dallas?
Nah. Why would they do that?
Yeah. But you want Mostert. I like Mostert.
Because
I happen to like
Greer's a trade genius and we'll find some sucker GM to pull it off. And why not Dallas?
I mean, you could trade. Yeah, you'd probably trade Jeff Wilson. I don't think Mostert's going anywhere. He's too valuable. But there's no need for that right now. And even and to answer your question, to Dalvin, I've said from the very beginning that the Chase Edmonds deal, if I'm Dalvin Cook, is the bare minimum of what I accept from Miami. 2 years, $12 million, $6 million in the first year. And I want some injury protection in year 2. Now, I'm giving you myself at $6 million a year only because I can have some injury protection. That would take away from their reserves and take away from their ability to re-sign and extend Christian Wilkins. But I'm of the opinion, and I do not believe that they're going to extend Christian Wilkins. I'm a doubter, because if you have somebody right now, even though it's going to be tough to franchise tag them because you're already ridiculously upside down and you can't make room for another $22 million hit, It does make sense to extend him. But if I'm Christian, I'm not taking anything less than 18.5 a year, which is what my peers were getting.
I'm with
if
you
I'm
there.
Miami and I already have you at $16 million a year, why am I offering you 18 a year?
Especially when I need the little bit of money I got left.
I would like to hope that the line of thinking is to, yes, match the peers. Because if you look at that draft class, you're Ed Oliver. You know, if you look at like the
Ed
comparison.
Oliver's at 16. Are
Right,
you signing that if you're Christian?
No, because you want to go a couple million higher. But then, of course, Quentin Williams brings that. You want to be in the middle of those kind of guys.
No. Christian does not want to be in the middle. Christian
wants
is
to
a
be
man of pride, and he wants to be. He's not going to be the highest, but he needs his 18.5.
I would say that's where we're
Are
at.
you saying ultimately Christian is not going to be a Dolphin in 2 years?
Oh,
no, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is this organization, and Chris Greer has been a part of it, hasn't signed a Dolphins defensive lineman that they've drafted, hasn't re-signed one to a multi-year deal since 2012.
But I got a guy that I want to say who I think if they make a lifetime Dolphin, who I think is almost better than, but I just a little bit of a different player, but I just think you keep me like Tim Bowens, who is a lifelong Dolphin, a guy that from start to finish was a man on that defensive line that just simply made other people's life easier and was a beast in and of himself. Also very underappreciated. So I think, look, Devon Gottschall was the antithesis. They let him go, right? But he wasn't the talent, I think, as Christian Wilkins. So I think you need to retain the leadership, the energy, all the intangibles. Every single thing to me checks the box to give him another 1.5, get it to 19.5 or 20, make him happy. At this point, hey, if we're talking, look, if we're at 18.5, to me, for Christian Wilkins, what's another 1.5? That's just me.
And by the way, our owner is signing paychecks. So, and Omar, everybody knows the salary cap's not real. It can be manipulated, okay?
It can, but it has been manipulated. And at a certain point, after all that manipulation, like people don't realize, you don't have contracts to restructure next year. Jalen Ramsey's the only one, and he's coming off an ACL. He's coming off a meniscus injury. Do you really want to do that? You don't have any contracts to restructure. And yeah, you can create avenues to create cap space like cutting Agba and trading or releasing Xavier Howard
and
Jerome Baker, but that just creates another problem for you.
The dead money is going to be bad in a year.
I don't worry about dead money. Dead money isn't real. The problem is you don't have the money to sign all of your talent, and that's what happens when you have a quarterback who's going to become expensive, and Tua is going to become expensive. You have to restock your shelves.
Be an MVP quarterback this year, right, Omar?
Yeah, absolutely. You have to restock your shelves with talent that's younger and cheaper, and that requires the draft picks. You haven't had draft picks for 2 years. So how are you going to do this? I don't have the answer.
Don't worry. We'll wait, Chris Greer.
I like to think that the asterisk of the wild card, I like the way, and we've spoken about this, but I think with his hands alone, Brandon Shore on the books, because a couple of years ago, it wasn't him. He was in different areas, but I like those two in tandem.
Brandon Shore ain't dope like y'all think he is.
Who is?
Brandon Shore. He's not dope like that. He's not. There's no creativity to these.
I like the accounting, and if you look at some of these contracts, the way that they're structured,
the contracts have been the same way that they've been structured since Jeff Ireland. Nothing has changed. Not a single thing. Bro,
people drawing them up.
I study these contracts.
Omar, are you saying that Brandon Shore is no Donna Ponte or Ponte?
She wasn't good either. Bro,
what?
These contracts. There's nothing unique or interesting or new or creative about these contracts. The only difference that these contracts feature is there's a lot of playing game bonuses where if you play this game, you get an extra 20. Every game you play, you get an extra $24,000, and that just protects you against injury. But there's nothing special about these contracts. Nothing. I haven't shown me. Tell me the deal that Brandon Shore has written that has been. Oh my God, that's impressive. None of them.
It's the restructuring and it's the finding when needed to get what Greer needs to do. It seems like
all that requires is an owner who's ready and willing to write a big fat check,
and he has been for the last couple of years.
No. You're talking about restructuring. If you're crowning Brandon Shore because he restructured contract, you know what restructured contract requires? An owner who's going to write a big fat check.
Which there are not many that do, but we have.
There are not many that do, but you have the one that does. But here's the thing. There aren't any more contracts to restructure.
I'm low on my supply of hopium after talking with Omar. That's all.
I'm sorry. I'm not a hope dealer. You don't tell me the contract you can restructure. You can shake down
not
Ogba
next year. I agree with you. There's nothing next year that you can do.
shake down Ogba. You can shake down Jerome.
Ogba will not be here next year.
He will not be here next year. You're correct.
You could also do things like a Sanders and look. Sanders needs to start kicking.
Sanders is
correct. $2 million.
Yeah,
Bring in destroying as far as I'm concerned.
But everything that you're creating, you're just creating another hole, and another thing that you got to pay for. While you still got to pay for Christian, Robert Hunt, Connor Williams. I said Robert Hunt. You
got to make room for Waddle and Phillips and Holland.
Oh yeah, Waddle, Phillips, and Holland. I mean, that's next year. People don't think
you got two fifth years though. You got 2 5th years that you could pick up with Phillips and Waddle.
Yeah, exactly. You're correct.
And you still haven't said.
But you got to take care of Holland. You got to take care of Holland now.
I would take care exactly. When do you take care of Holland? Exactly. But
when
it's going to get tough financially for Miami. It's going to get really tough financially.
Especially when we win the Super Bowl this year and Tua's the MVP. And I'm just telling you, he's going to ask for what did Justin Herbert get? Ridiculous amount of money.
Tua's at 46 a year. If you don't like it, cry me a river. But that's what he's at.
That's insane, by the way. Absolutely insane.
That's where he's at.
We could have got him last year for 28, maybe 30.
You couldn't.
You don't think
32.
So? Okay, that's still going to be That's still going to be a bargain compared to what's going to happen this year.
Technically, you couldn't sign him to an extension last year. This is the first year you could have signed him to an extension. And I don't think he would have signed for anything less than 40. Because the market is Derek Carr is the market. And Derek Carr got 35. So
you're not wrong. Dude, I've had so much fun talking with you. I've been doing my show now for about 3 years, and you have been one of the guys I've been wanting to get onto the show. I'm glad we finally got a chance to do this, and I hope we can do it more this year.
Yeah,
because you need your fix of hopium, and I'm going to give it to you, man.
Steven, you are my hopium dealer. Okay,
yeah, I am your hopium dealer. When people need hope, you send them my way. Okay.
Yes. I do want to say, again, just to plug the work that me and Alan do, Alan Poupard, we got 35 plus years of Dolphins coverage experience. It's free. Every single day you type in alldolphins.com. We're there. We're at practice. We're giving it to you for free. Columns, analysis, coverage, after the McDaniel. If you need your Dolphins fix, your Dolphins information, we're free. And then, not trying to steal any of your traffic, but we do have the podcast.
Away, man, we're a family. Family, man. I'm serious. I do not believe in that. The only way we get bigger is with each other. I really believe
absolutely. Alldolphins.com for the website, and then type in All Dolphins on YouTube. You'll see our daily breakdowns of practice. Next week, we will be there in tandem, the only tandem in South Florida, because most outlets are not sending to watch both fields at joint practice on alldolphins.com for your coverage.
You guys are doing big things over there. I'm on the website right now. Look at you two.
Yeah, man. I believe I just have a new column that just got put up where I'm telling people I've covered a lot of, and please understand, I've covered a lot of bad Dolphins practices. I covered the entire Cam Cameron year. I've covered Chad Henne era. I covered sack fest of Ryan Tannehill, and people are belly aching and crying and complaining about 3 days of mediocre looking practices. Like, bro, calm down. Like, it'll be all right.
Tell them it's gonna be okay.
This is what I'm talking. Then this is what we need here.
Take
right there, Omar.
God, I watched the first snap of a situational period, the one where Tua threw the interception inside the bubble. His receivers were like Freddie Swain, River Craycraft, and some tight end that shall not be named.
Great Rivercraft. Say his name correctly, okay?
Yes, he's my Rivercraft.
I want to get a jersey now that says Rivercraft on it so bad.
You'll be getting a practice squad jersey.
Oh, no.
Here's my thing. You got to keep 6. You got to keep 6. Nobody's going to claim Rivercraft.
Well, we were going smooth. Now we're just
We were
going
doing so good, Omar.
But listen, you and Alan do great work, Omar. Of course, every time I do something with you, I always have to thank you. You've been a really big mentor to me in my writing and whatnot. But you got to tell Alan something, and he'll appreciate that. I'm freaking out. I can't find my Montreal Expos hat. I don't know where it is. I've been traveling for I'm freaking out.
Okay, I will share that with you.
If anyone knows me,
I'm
it's
sure you
bad.
order one because
No. This is original. This is like years ago. I've had it. It's got my head shape. He'll understand, Omar.
Okay.
People that have this Montreal Expos hat, they have a thing. They're weird.
Yeah, we're a fraternity. Yeah.
Okay.
Omar, you're the man, brother. Seriously, thank you so much for coming on. I'd love to have you on my morning show in the future, and I'd love to do more stuff with you.
Anytime, man.
You're the man. Seriously.
Thank you, Omar.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you.
Have a good night.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Dolphin Chat with Omar Kelly. Jason, man, that was good times right there. I liked it. We were only supposed to do like 30 minutes.
This is
was
great.
So good.
Omar's the best. Like, to me, Omar, it's like, you know what I like to compare, like, with me and Omar? It's like me and Omar have been in both, like, WCW and WWE, and depending on the day, we're like either tag team or we're going at each other.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I love Omar. He really does a terrific job of helping people get on their way. And he's helped me. He's done it to others. So, I really appreciate Omar coming on and giving the time.
Look, if you want to find more content like this each and every week, Jason Sarney has this awesome newsletter. It's called Dolphins Weekly. Go sign up for it today. He's going to have links to my man Alan Poupart and Omar Kelly's alldolphins.com. He's going to have links to this right here. This episode, this absolutely amazing episode of Dolphin Chat. And you can always find Clock Blockers right there on Dolphins Weekly as well. So, Jason, this was great. We got to do more stuff like this. Dolphin Chat is in the building. We're going to do it big and better than anyone else this year. And it's going to be a lot of fun, man. I can't wait to enjoy the ride with you, man.
Bro, it's like the first week or 2 weeks of August. Let's rock. We're just getting started. I can't wait, man. And you got to get me one of those hats because I'm already short, supposedly. On my
Solo
collection,
D, get Jason Sarney a hat, and Omar probably wants one too. So
EWA,
go to Miami Sports Music, and we'll send you the link, man. It's going to be good stuff. All right, hey, I love you, brother. Check out my morning show, Clock Blockers, each and every weekday mornings on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube, type in Miami Sports Music. You'll see me. You'll see Solo D. You'll see Jason Sarney. You'll see the crew. It'll be a lot of fun. It's been Dolphin Chat for Jason Sarney, myself, Stephen Daniels. We'll see you next time right here on Dolphin Chat.
When to go with fit, so we know when to switch. This year we got the golden pick. Time to see what that pick about. Bad vibes get sent out. Only fans up in this house.